I'm hearing is, this is a significant act. Everyone has the right to be safe. It's going to be witnessed and become a learning experience for everybody in that room. So how come some people in here laid it quite low? Now we want to hear your argument. What's your argument for giving it less than, say, 20?
The first time it happened, I was quite alarmed because my own reaction would have normally been really inappropriate. However, students in the class came to my assistance. That's the first time. Subsequently, when I've broken up fights and so forth, students, even the worst behaved, have a level of cognition when they realise there's a line you don't step over. And they were very supportive. And I appreciate you actually interviewing at that stage.
Yeah, and so you're saying then you feel that you will not lose from the audience, they'll actually support you.
Yeah.
So your self-talk is not that the audience is going to learn a negative thing from this, they'll actually reinforce a positive thing from...
alarm bells go off so loudly in your own mind that it really takes a lot of self-control not to react very, very badly.
Okay, so the more you, if you would experience this and the group would come on side and reinforce the right values rather than the wrong values, you would say to yourself, this is not such a big deal.
Through experience?
Maybe, yeah, but in certain contexts it might work and others it mightn't, so it depends. Okay, someone else give me another different kind of argument as to why it's not such a big deal.
Potentially it's not another adult doing this. This is someone who is still learning what appropriate behaviours are and how to express their frustration and their anger. So I don't think you could take it like an adult doing this to your strength. That would be entirely different. This is still a being that's trying to figure things out for themselves. So when a kid says that to you, it's really, it's frustration, it's anger, it's not necessarily a personal attack.
Okay, hold that thought. Now I want someone who scored it highly to paraphrase what they just heard. Someone who scored it as a big problem to paraphrase what they just heard. What was the reasoning of that person then? You scored it high?
I scored it.
Okay, so now repeat what was said in your words.
What was said to me, what I heard was that the student doesn't know that this behaviour is as bad as we know it is, and they're just trying to express that they're hurt and they're trying to express that they want you away. That's what I heard.
Is that what you said?
I think they possibly know, and I would say with most of the kids I look at what they know, but that doesn't mean that they can stop themselves in that moment, just like sometimes as teachers, we make mistakes and can't stop ourselves in a moment when we're just completely geared by our emotions sometimes. It just happens and we get better at it, and you would hope that we continually strive to get better at it.
Okay, can you hear that?
I hear it.
Again?
One response I'd like to say...
Not yet, hear first what was said.
Yeah, saying that they do know about it, they lose control, and they, just as anyone else can in a given situation.
I mean, we could strengthen that and say they are in adolescence, and we know about adolescents that their emotions are very labile, and they can blow without meaning to, and the next minute they're contrite even, but they couldn't control it, all that stuff. So by having teachers think about some of the alternatives, we could do this another couple of hours, I guess, and I usually do in a summer school, we spend hours on this, because the thing is you've got to think about what you're thinking. It's metacognition at its best. You've got to think about what you're thinking and the impact that has on what you do next. Okay? This is going to be not just for you, but for certainly some of the teachers you're working with will have to do this. Some of them. Because without this, they're not going to progress. So if you need any more reading on this, just look up anything by Michael Bernard or Ellis or any of these people in rational emotive therapy. It's a simple thing. I could say to you now, there are 15 things people say to themselves that make these numbers higher. One, everything from I have to be perfect at what I do, through to everyone must approve of me. And it depends often where you are in a family as to which one of those applies to you most, but not always. So it's worth looking up this stuff and starting to get a sense of what triggers you and triggers others. But it's a brilliant exercise only because when you start, if I got you to compare your numbers, let's do that for a few minutes without even knowing what the numbers were. You can ask me, I'll show you. Look on your table and just check the numbers and see how much variation you really do have in one table here. I want you to compare your scores on 1 and 6. Just look at your scores, 1 and 6. Raise your hand if 1 is higher than 6. Your score for 1 is higher than 6. If you scored 1, whatever it is, higher than you scored 6, whatever it is. Raise your hand if there's a difference between them of, let's say, at least 10, if not 20% even. Anyone got 20% difference? But difference between with 1 higher and 20% 1 lower. So now we'll do it the other way. Let's try this again. I want to see the data. Someone here in this room has 1 scored higher than 6 by 20%. Raise your hand and we'll see how many you are. It's 2, 3, 4, 5 of you. Now raise your hand if you have 6, 20% higher than 1. More. Now, I could make you debate each other because something is interesting, because 1 is about that child and that child's learning, right? They're not learning, they're disengaged. This is a major problem for you as an instructor. 6 is about a kid who's setting a negative example for the group, although they probably know, and has been totally inappropriate in terms of the rights of individuals, but according to a definition over here, may be just temporarily emotional and may settle within a minute or two and be unlikely to do that once you sit down and have a conversation about it, but we don't really know yet. It would be interesting to hear your debates as to why 1 should be scored higher than 6 or 6 should be scored higher than 1. Whatever would happen, if you would enter that with an open mind enough to listen to what the other person was saying, you will get greater insight. Question?
I'm not sure if it's a fair comparison, because even though you go to the scale of 1 to 100, that was the first question asked.
Yeah.
So you had nothing relative.
Exactly. Yeah, maybe if I put it as 5. Could be that you either, well, did you score therefore higher or lower? Okay. Yeah, and it might have scored a higher later. Okay, that's a good question. Methodologically, you're quite right. But that would be worth discussing. You might say, yeah, but you know, it's not a good thing to do because it was the first one, etc. But this is what RET is about. So some people are saying, so what if the kid said that? Others are saying, well, look, it's only one kid. We're talking about this kid providing a model for everybody. So it will all depend in a way on what you're saying, some of which is irrational. That's why when we did the conversation with C's, you will have to get good at having conversation with teachers. When they explain to you the kid deserves it, or it's your job, not theirs. And you will, actually. I work with support groups in schools, in some of the schools I've been with for a while, and that's really what they do. They spend a lot